Hey everyone, Arlie Safari here, and I'm back. I know I haven't been the best with uploads as of late, but that is going to be changing real soon. Today though, we're going to be talking about Beast Bio Exo Arena Suit Team. To be honest with you, this game was not on my radar at all, but I had my friend Sonic Station reach out to me asking if I was able to record the gameplay for the Switch version of the game. Originally, I was supposed to be the one recording the gameplay, but by the time the publisher sent out the codes, I was already on vacation, so I had to ask my friend Jay's Arcade to fill in for me while I was on vacation. Thankfully, I haven't seen any charges for V-Bucks or anything on my bank account, so I think I'm good. Regardless, that was not my gameplay, and I haven't picked up the game up until recently just to try it out for myself. It's been sitting in my library. But for this video, I just want to be giving my honest to God thoughts on my first 3 hours just playing the game. Just a few things before we begin. While this is a review copy of the game, I'm going to be giving my honest to God thoughts. Second, I will be showing how we got the results of the winners of the previous video, but for those wondering, I will put a pinned comment saying who won exactly, and I will get into contact with the winners and give them their codes. But for now, let's get into Beast for the Nintendo Switch. Most of the game focuses on arena matches that last from 2 to 3 minutes at a given time. In those matches, you start off as a pet and you can summon a mech once you have it fully charged. I will say that the mechs are strong, but I think they're fairly balanced, in my opinion. The attacks are strong and can kill pretty easily. But the good thing is that their health drains over time, so more than likely they will not stay on the battlefield for long. And even if you're on the ground as a pet, you can make up distance between mechs by going on elevated platforms, which it really helps that those exist because it would be hard to play the game otherwise. In terms of playable characters, I think you have a good selection to choose from. You only start off with one pet at the beginning named Clyde, but you can unlock the rest of them through the game story mode or the welcome event. I will say though that Clyde's a decent character to start off as, but once you get into the game, I think you will find your favorite. For me, one character I liked playing as was Gigi Nova. She's one of the 2 characters that's able to heal, and I'm not gonna lie, she is kind of broken. She's not only able to heal pets, but she's also capable of healing mechs, which keeps the mechs on the battlefield for a longer time than usual. And you can also heal your own mech if you hop out of it and just heal it. And there are downsides to playing as her, like her damage output not being the best in her pet form, or that you're likely to be targeted by enemies first, but overall, I feel like the pros outweigh the cons there. Overall, I will say that from the characters I played as, I did enjoy most of them. As I said before, the game mainly focuses on the arena battles, and as such, the main meat and potatoes is the multiplayer. Personally speaking, I think the game is fairly easy to pick up, since most of the matches usually last between 2 to 3 minutes. Which makes sense given the history of this game because it was an Apple Arcade exclusive up until last month when it came out on Nintendo Switch, and it's also supposed to be getting a Steam release soon. For like the game types, you have your regular modes like Team Deathmatch, Free for All, and in those you're just trying to get as many knockouts as you can. In Free for All it's 10, but in Team Deathmatch it's about 12. I feel like they could have bumped that up to 15 personally, but I can understand why that decision was made. There's 2 other modes you can get by progressing through the game. The first is Crystal Rush. In that one, you're supposed to collect 15 crystals, and I think it's a fun time. I wouldn't say I prefer it over the Team Deathmatch, but I think it's a decent change in gameplay though. In the arenas, there's this thing that you need to shoot in order to get crystals out of it. It dispenses a few crystals before it moves on to another location. And the fun part about that is whenever someone with crystals dies, their crystals go down with them, so you can collect their remains. And the other mode was Payload. Unfortunately, I did not get to play it because I need to go further into story mode in order to unlock it. But with the modes I talked about, I think it's a decent package. I have no complaints about the multiplayer overall. I was able to find multiplayer matches fairly easily throughout any time of the day. And that's mostly in large part due to how this game is crossplay between Apple Arcade and Nintendo Switch. So if you end up getting this game for the Nintendo Switch, you already have people to play online with. Before we get into more of my thoughts on the game, I want to get into the story mode. So this is the main mode that you get to unlock characters through. I would say the story mode content isn't anything interesting, to be honest. It's just multiplayer matches with AI. I don't think they overstayed their welcome, to be honest, but it takes a bit of time to collect everything. There are star requirements in order to unlock new skins and some other perks. Like, if you want to get the characters, I don't think you need to do the requirements, but as someone that wanted to complete the game, they were somewhat the most annoying thing ever. For instance, there are requirements to do things with mechs, more specifically with their specials. For example, there's this one mission where you have to play as Clyde in a 1v1 match and get a kill in with his mech special. It took me about 20 minutes or so just to do that because Clyde's special does not work very well. He has a missile barrage that his mech can send once it's fully charged. And the issue with that is that you cannot control where it goes exactly. I just could not land it. Usually because the enemy was on an elevated platform, or they just could not get close enough. Or I completed that requirement by complete accident. And there have been other missions with the mech as well, like getting a specific amount of kills with the special, which is hard to do during a time match. Because you not only have to deal with, your mech losing health over time, but you need to make sure that it doesn't get hit and that you're able to land those kills. And for some of the characters, it's really easier said than done, but for others, it's hard to meet that requirement at times. I will say that there is a silver lining with the optional requirements. If you complete one requirement, you can go back into that level and complete the other one. So I'm thankful about that. But overall, if you just want to unlock the characters, you don't have to worry about this. This is really just to unlock skins. Overall, I will say that the game is a good purchase, but I do have a few issues with it. One being that the gyro controls for this game are not the best. I tried messing around with the settings, but I just could not get it to work on my Pro controller. And the second one is the biggest one for me. It's not the game itself, kind of. It's more so the Switch version of this game. If you haven't noticed in the gameplay that I've shown, it tends to stutter. More specifically, whenever something big is going on screen or whenever a mech is being called upon, the Switch just pauses for a few seconds at times, and it just disrupts gameplay. I understand that the Switch One has its limitations. This is technology that has existed since 2017, but I feel like the game itself is simple enough to have running a lot better. It would be one thing if the Switch can handle the gameplay, but this is also something that's part of the menus themselves. So that just tells me that this game could have been a lot better optimized for a Switch. So I hope that the developer does fix this game because overall I had a fun time. I would say for $10 or even less if you could find it on a sale, I think this is a good game to get. Although I think there's progression issues, there's a good amount of content to play. If you don't like the performance issues of the Switch version, I would say try it out on Apple Arcade. Or better yet, get the Steam version if you don't want to deal with that subscription. But with that, I would say it's a good game to recommend if you just want something that you can pick up and put down in like 2 to 3 minutes. Anyway, this was my first review. I know it might have been kind of crappy, but I'm just giving it a shot. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and here's footage of the results. Okay, so I got all 6 people that joined in on this giveaway, so let's see how this goes. Okay, let's see, who's gonna win the first one? Is it gonna be James? Nope, Speeder Light. No, I recognize that name from Twitter, so yeah, that's our first winner. There you go. Now we're gonna do the other 2. So let's see if we'll get another person. 5 people remaining. Hopefully, Jay, please get it because I'm gonna feel bad if you don't. Okay, Sonic Blast. Oh, Sonic Blast. Sonic Blast YT. Okay, that's the second winner, so let's see who the final one is. And drum roll, please. James? Okay, well, James won that one. I'm not too sure how exactly I'm going to get him that code, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. This has been Arlie Safari, and I'll see you later, Gators. Peace out.